Okay, so as much as the Bears could have probably called it on Friday and said, you know what, we're good, we got our guy. They continued through the draft, and Ryan Pace continued to be aggressive. And I think they have a pretty strong rookie class. He's Dan Wiederer from the Chicago Tribune. I'm Dionne Miller from ABC7. I really like Teven Jenkins from go. And we mentioned it before. That was someone a lot of people thought they could get at 20, and he had that first round talent. They trade up a little bit to get him at 39. So I feel like they got almost 2 first round draft picks.
Just to be clear with our audience, you're wearing that Ohio State shirt, and they should check out our previous video about Justin Fields to understand why you're showing your Ohio loyalty and understanding why you are coming to the show in this regard with this level of enthusiasm, which I love. But to your point, yes, day 2 of the draft starts, and they are able to get a player that a lot of us thought would be available to them at number 20 if they had stayed with that number 20 pick in round 1. And Teven Jenkins comes in as a guy that can start for you. He can start for you on either side of the line, right tackle, left tackle. He's a guy that has developed a nasty edge throughout his college career. He's a guy that seems to be open to hard coaching and constructive criticism, which will fit very well with Juan Castillo. And so now to be able to get that combination, that 1-2 punch of Justin Fields as your quarterback, Teven Jenkins as one of your future starting offensive tackles, that's a big deal for the Bears. And so if they wanted to just pack it in after Thursday night, they could have packed it in again after Friday night. Right. And then they went again and added 5 more players on Saturday. And it's a 7-player draft class that will always be defined by Justin Fields, and then we'll have that largely number 2 subplot of what does Teven Jenkins become.
And I believe Teven Jenkins starts on game 1. I truly do. I think he's got that competitiveness, that drive, that body of work that proves that he's ready for it. And it would be such a difference maker on that front 5 to have a guy with that kind of attitude. I mean, he could hardly get through the media Zoom after he was selected without swearing at us. He's just, and the way he looks, you don't think that that's how he's going to be on the field. And I love that about him. And it's easy to cheer for somebody who is that passionate about what he's doing and wants to be really good at it. And I think that's huge. I didn't hate what they did on Saturday either, though, Dan. I mean, I think they added important pieces for what they can do. I also feel like they had the luxury of at that moment being like, all right, we got these 2 guys. Now we can kind of play around a little bit more and see what we can gather here in the 5th, 6th and 7th, 3rd, 6th and 7th. I'm sorry, right? I got confused after a while because
5th, 6th, and 7th. After all the movement, it was 5th, 6th, and 7th. And yeah, I mean, look, we sat here a week ago and said, look, you got to find a quarterback. Check. Yeah. You got to find help on the offensive line. Check. They got 2 of them, Teven Jenkins and then Larry Borum from Missouri. You needed cornerback help. In the round 6, you found a guy from Oregon and Thomas Graham Jr., who was very productive in his 3 years with the Ducks. And so now you bring him into the fold and figure out, okay, can he play outside? Can he be a starter outside for you? Can he be an option in the slot for you? Thomas Graham Jr. certainly comes with a lot of confidence. He's the one pick from day 3 that I'm kind of circling and really want to watch his development because I think he has all of the wiring that you want in that position. And again, the production in college is something that's impressive. Now we'll see what they do with the development of all these guys. Again, not knowing the next time they're actually going to be together on a practice field at Hallis Hall. I think the rookies will be able to get to rookie minicamp a week from now. But beyond that, we're not sure when the whole team's going to gather, and that will affect developmental timelines of these younger players.
It will, and they worried about it a lot last year too. I think they've gotten more used to the virtual meetings and that sort of thing. And off-season work has always been voluntary, but so I feel like they can be somewhat productive continuing to be virtual. But for those young guys, that is super valuable time to be on the field. I do, back to Timothy Graham though for a minute, I love the previous relationship with Jalen Johnson. I feel like the fact that the way he even talked about, if we trust each other already, and that I think makes a big difference for everybody, every level of the defense, to know that is in their backfield there in the secondary, and they can take care of those things. I feel like that's going to be really big for his quickly, accelerating him into the next level, because he didn't play last year. Right. And so, I think that will help in that regard defensively. So you're right. Like they need this time on the field. Who knows when that will happen? Hopefully it's something that they will even push for and say, look, we're ready to try to do this, because it is important.
So I have a little anecdote for our audience that tells you a lot about what day 3 of the draft is like. Day 3 of the draft, Rich Campbell and I always used to joke, it's a lot of players that we've really never heard much about getting drafted to a team that they don't know much about. And it's this reminder that these are by and large 20, 21 years old, 22-year-old kids who are having their eyes open to this new world. And so Daz Newsome, slot receiver that the Bears drafted out of North Carolina, was asked, hey, what do you know about the Bears receiving corps? And his answer was, I know they have Anthony Miller and Calvin Ridley's brother. And it's one of those moments where you just kind of laugh out loud and you say, hey, Daz, I think Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney are going to want a word when you get into the locker room soon, and they'll let you know a little bit more about what the structure of this receiving corps is. But it's a reminder that these guys are just waiting for somebody to call them, right? They've got all 32 teams up on their board at home, and they're saying, somebody just give me a call. And when they get that call, they don't know a lot about the team they're joining, and now it's their duty to get up to speed. And it's our duty to get up to speed on who these guys are. Newsome, a guy, again, we talked about the receiver position as one that they needed to add depth to. We'll see what he's able to bring. Seems quick, seems confident, seems engaging. One other thing on Thomas Graham, while we talk about those Saturday Zoom calls with these prospects, he said right out of the gates that he loves talking to the media. You talk about putting an extra star and an extra sticker next to his name as he arrives here. I said, Thomas, that's a promise that you can't go back on. You have to stick to that for the remainder of your Bears career. He promised he would. Let's see if we can keep him on that track, Dionne. That's a challenge for you, me, and our brethren in the media.
Ask good questions and get good answers. I thought he was incredibly engaging too in the Zoom call, and I enjoyed hearing what he had to say. And I felt like he was eloquent in the way he expressed himself. I think I called him the wrong name earlier, but I'll get there.
Call him Timothy, but don't call him Timothy. Otherwise, he's going to go the wrong direction on us.
No doubt.
Got to call him Thomas.
Thomas. It's too many names. Like, we just got to figure. He'll be TGJ before we know it. Right?
There you go. TG2.
Oh my goodness. But I thought they had good personalities, and I saw it too after all was said and done. I think you might have tweeted it on Sunday, Dan, where you were like, I hope we get close enough to actually build a rapport with these guys and get to know them, because therein lies the best part of our jobs, is to be able to tangibly bring the audience and the fan base closer to the players that they love to cheer for. And we didn't have that luxury last year, and it was sorely missed. It's still missed. Like, I hope that they're able to get on the field, and we as the media are able to do our jobs the way that we love to do it, and to bring this draft class to life in a way that Bears fans will enjoy it.
Yep. I've never met Cole Kmet in person. I've never met Jalen Johnson in person. I've never met Darnell Mooney in person. Never met Jimmy Graham in person. Never met Nick Foles in person. Never met Robert Quinn in person. Can I keep going down the list? There's a lot of new faces in this locker room that weren't there the last time we had access to the locker room in Halas Hall. And so we'll see where that goes, because I think you're right. It is in everybody's best interest for there to be some back and forth and the ability to learn more about the guys individually, learn more about the team as a whole. That's a door we want reopened, and we're going to fight for it. And we're going to see what we can do. But there's some interesting parts now, right? And obviously it starts with Justin Fields renewing the interest, renewing the optimism, renewing the outside enthusiasm about this team. But there's other guys here that are going to be instrumental on whether this team stays stuck on the 8-8 road that we always talk about, or whether they can become a championship contender again. And so it's going to be interesting to learn more about them in the months and really years to come. And hopefully they know us more than just a square in their Zoom interviews.
Do you feel good about what Ryan Pace has done offseason wise with the defense? Do you feel as good about where they are as we have in the past?
I think so much of this comes down to what Sean Desai can do to get this closer to playing at 2018 levels. We knew heading into this offseason that their focus was going to be on offense, and rightfully so, and that their defensive core is still there. You still have difference-making playmakers at every level of that defense. And so now it's up to Sean to play that chess game that Vic was so masterful at and turn them loose. They got to get more than 11 sacks out of Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn combined, right? Eddie Jackson has to have an interception in 2021. Roquan Smith has to continue the ascent. They've got to find another cornerback to start opposite Jalen Johnson. There's questions for this defense for sure. I think the one sort of underrated thing that nobody's talked a lot about yet, but will be soon, Eddie Goldman returning to this defense after opting out in 2020. His presence will make a big difference, and I think the development that Bilal Nichols had while Goldman was out will only help the depth and the rotation there up front, and we'll see where they go with this. I'm neither thrilled nor let down by what they did defensively this offseason, because I think the focus had to be on the offense, and given the salary cap restrictions, obviously the Kyle Fuller exit was the biggest move defensively of the offseason. were kind of handcuffed, and they did what they could do with what they had, and now it's up to Sean Desai to again play that game of chess.
But for right now, excitement is brimming over for Bears fans, and rightfully so, I think, after this draft class. Can't believe the draft is over. So much hype. It's like one of my favorite moments. I think when I'm done with broadcasting, I would like to be the person who makes the call. I know the GMs usually do that, but I want to be able to call guys and make their dreams come true, or be the one that knocks on the door and says, "Welcome to the Hall of Fame." That would be really cool too.
That would be the one right there. That's pretty good news to deliver there. Hey, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. What do you want your bus to look like, right? And then the guys will have to learn how to do that. It's an admirable goal. I know you said last week you were jazzed up about the draft. I'm sure you're equally jazzed up, if not more, because of what they did in round 1 with Justin Fields. And look, that was a big tone changer for this entire organization. We spent 3 months listening to fans say, I'm done with this team. I'm never investing another ounce of emotional energy into this team. They're lost. They're stuck. They're horrible. They're garbage. One pick brought all these people back in the line for the bandwagon. And now we're going to see if it's justifiable to get on that bandwagon or if it's just going to crash them in, through the guardrails off a cliff. And it's like those, old Toonsis videos from Saturday Night Live, right? Where off the cliff you go because the cat was driving.
All right, so I'm going to make a request right now, Dan. When you get inducted into the writers' wing of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I would like to be the one that calls you.
Knock on my door. What are you doing here?
Come home to Canton.
I can't wait for that. Obviously, I'm going to get in there very soon. The Hall of Fame talent. I don't know why I'm not in yet, and we'll just wait and see where it goes.
Oh my gosh, you're throwing shade. You haven't even retired yet. He's Dan. I'm Dionne. We'll see you guys next time.